What's crack-a-lackin', y'all? What's good? It's your boy, the Rinnegan, back at it again with another episode of First Week Beats. Oh, man. What a week. What a life. It's been busy. And, yeah, I'm pretty fucking tired, y'all. Pretty fucking tired, but, you know, I gotta do this. Man, it's just one of those weeks, you know. But at any rate, let's just get to it. Uh, so I got this track pulled up here, and I've just been tinkering around with the Arturias MiniFreak, and it is sensational. So I've just been having fun with it, experimenting with it. So this is like a real experimental track, and so let's get to it. Let's just hear what we got so far. Man, this is like a vibe. Yeah. I want you to like listen to the whole thing, though, what I got so far for it, The MiniFreak, and when you combine it with the Analog Lab 5, there's no stopping you from endless possibilities, So like I use the MiniFreak, Analog Lab 5, and what else I use? I believe I used Reactor 6 by Native Instruments. The outro. Sensational. It's just, yeah. So this beat, highly experimental. I just wanted to play around with the MiniFreak and then combine it with the Analog Lab 5 and see what I could do with it. And I just wanted to try something new. So this is me trying something new. So I just put something together, and I gotta say, like, this piece of synthesizer here, it's like a game changing synth combined with the Keylab, at the keyboard. I got this Keylab Mark II 88 key to the left of me, and it's just like I can operate. I can operate the MiniFreak with my Keylab, which is so sick. So the I would say it's endless, the possibilities, and it's changed my whole perspective on beat making. Because normally I just use, drum pads, a MIDI keyboard, and samples, and whatever sounds I have on hand, and just try to make them sound good as possible. And I never thought for the life of me would I, get my hands on some type of a synthesizer and just mess with the electronic sounds, and now it's giving me ideas and stuff. So this is just, I would say this beat right here is very experimental. It's just me jamming out and just like having fun with it. And I think it's good to show you, that side of the production is just, this is like an embodiment of experimental work. I'm gonna play it real quick, and then I'm gonna run through the sounds real quick on this MiniFreak to see if there's anything else that like I can add. But I have to say, this little app right here, or whatever you want to call it, the VST, combining with this synth, creme de la creme. Alright, let me just mess around with this right here, and we'll see what we need to do with this beat. kind of like that. That little low bell, this little low bell vibe, man. All right, so I'm thinking let's try to add it to this little outro part. Let me try that again, but I gotta route this. Let me just route this to it didn't fade out. So like the what you gonna call it? I got this little low bell thing. All right, let me just duplicate that. Call this bell bus, just so I can just route that real quick. Now this will fade it out. I'm just gonna title this bell low. Sweet. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. Let's hear that. I'm gonna try just. Come on, son. I just gotta like. Oh shit! Come on. I'm gonna just move that a little there. Let's try that again. Ha, motherfucker! Let me put it over there. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you gotta. Move over here maybe. Come on. I gotta adjust the. Move it over there. Move it over here. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna have to fucking. I will fix that and then just move that over here. What was it? Try this. Son of a bitch, I'm trying to get it on beat. Onto the... Try that. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, let's try it from the top. I like this. Okay, and then we fix these. And then see that right there is interessant. Okay, interesting. We got over here. And then I'll move that there. So what I'm gonna do is take these and I'm just gonna shift them a little. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Perfect. You know, it takes some time. But if you do the work, it works out. Sick. Okay. How about these babies? Are these cool? Are they cool, man? I could just... I don't know if I like that one. That one's kind of wild. Just bring this one a little tad there. Okay. I like it. That's cool. I fucks with that. Alright. See if I can add one more. I want to do something cool with this thing, so I'm gonna figure something out with this. Does it work with this type of beat though? We'll see. Let's try again. Let's let me just loop I'll do from this verse all the way to the end of this chorus. And what I'm just trying to figure out if there's any other sounds that will work well with this track. And I just want to see if there's something that could vibe with this. I really want to use this thing, so I'm pretty much at the I'm going to do some mixing on this, so I just want to see if there's anything else other than that. I'll just like dive into the mixing and just mix this bitch down and see where we're at. But let's enjoy this shit real quick. Don't want to overpower it. got this key. That's kind of cool. Okay. Maybe I could try with this. Like, let me just see what happens if I add it to the hook. Okay. I gotta try that one more time, but I think I know the pattern I want. Damn it. I hit the wrong note. It's all good. It happens. That's kind of cool. Okay, so let's hear that real quick. I like that a lot. That's pretty sick. But we gotta fix the time. We'll listen to it one more time. So I'm gonna quantize it, which I have right now, and then I'm gonna shift it a little. We don't want it to sound too robotic. That's cool. Okay. That's some crazy, like, we'll just do this like keys 3 or something. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I like that actually. It's a really cool little, what's it called? Recognition. But I did some crazy shit up on the synth and whatnot. I'm probably just gonna save it real quick. Let me just save this preset because like I did some editing on it, so that should be savable. So 1 second, I'm gonna play this from the top while I save this real quick. Sick. Alright. So that's cool. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. So now, let's get on to the mixing side of things. So I want to get down to, like how do we get this track, popping, and once we mix it down, there might be like instruments I might just pull from here, from the synth, because we're gonna keep sounds or we're gonna add new sounds and replace others. So we won't know until the session progresses. So let's just keep things moving. And so right now, what I want to do is I want to just, so I've got this kick, this, I got like what, 4, 5, sorry. So I've got one kick from Reactor 6, and I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 kicks, and then I got a sub kick right here from Reactor 6, but I didn't want to, utilize so much CPU, so I had to freeze the track and turn it into a stereo. So this is like a sub kick. So if I were to play these by themselves, yeah. So I tend to like to layer kicks and create one ultimate kick, and I do the same thing with snares. Look at all these snares. I have them all. I'll even open this up real quick so you can kind of see. These are my snares, and I'll layer them, and then I'll drag them. See, they're dragged a little to create like a specific sound. And if you ever have like drum fatigue and you're just like, I can't figure out what snare I want, or I can't figure out a snare or whatnot, or a kick, just find a bunch of kicks you like or a bunch of snares you like, and then just experiment by stacking them and then moving them. And then for a little trick on snares is that if you take a tom, and then like a low one, and you can pitch shift it, take a low tom and pitch shift it either up or down, and it adds weight, and you just layer it right up under the snare. So every time the snare comes, the tom hits right up under it, and you get a lot more like weightiness to your snares. And so I think I only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and not these two that are playing. But yeah, that's all the snares playing at the same time, and it has that weightiness to it and a chunkiness, you know. So, but we want to do is let's group the kicks together. So I'm just gonna title this kick group. Let's just route this to the group, and then route this to the smasher bus, and that will be routed to the drum bus. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off, like, you have to think about it like this. Like, when you do a mix and you're doing a mix down, you have to ask yourself, what's the most important pieces of your mix you want to start first? And I always start with the kicks and the bass, or the drums and the bass. Those are the most important. And so we're gonna start with the drums first, then the bass, and move our way down. And welcome everybody that's in the session. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to First We Beats. Let me know, what y'all think in the comments, and if you want, hit that like or something, So let's get to the. I work with Slate Digital a lot. These plugins are fantastic. All right, come on. Do not freeze on me. I'm in here. This is the session. Sometimes it happens. All right, come on. All right. Woo. And that was too close of a call. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna boost the buffer size and the latency, because we do not want this shit to crash. And I spent too much money on my computer for it to crash, but it has crashed before, But we don't want that shit to crash. So what do? We go right here. I'm using a RME Fireface 802 right here, Fireface 802, and it's a great audio interface. And so I'll just boost this to 2048 samples. That's the highest it goes. And you want to do this for for mix downs, and then you want to lower it for when you're recording stuff like vocals and making beats and whatnot. If you did not know, now you know. But if you do know, call it a refresher. So, all right. So let's see what happens. So right now we're gonna loop. We're gonna loop this shit. And what we want to do is make the drums a little bit more beefy. And I gotta get a trimmer. This is to help with the peaks and all that, and to make sure it's not in the red. Ratio, let's bring it down a bit. It's probably peaking right now, but we'll fix that. I kind of like to do the ratio around 150. Let's bring this down a little. And sometimes when you group stuff, and it's still like, even when you have it in these settings, sometimes it'll still go in the red. So you gotta lower the actual tracks down a little, just so you can, sure that they've really hit. I promise. This is just the method to the madness. So we're gonna use a transient shaper. Let's see what happens if I put it before. at 35. I think I might have to lower it down a bit. Down about 2 decibel. You just want it to have about a, dB of gain reduction, just about. And let's move this about. That's cool. So let's go to the drum. We're not done with the kicks and the snares and the drums and shit. We're still getting started. So now we need to add like crunchiness. We need to get them to poke out in the mix. We need them to feel crispy. We need them to emerge, because what we're just doing is we're just bringing them in, like, it's like the Rasengan from Naruto. It's just bringing everything into a nice, good fit. So just oof. So let's go to the kilohertz and let's go to multipass, and we're gonna do a multi-band distortion type of technique. Let's see where we at. Destructo. I use this so much, and it works. And what's really cool is, I don't know if you can see it, but there's this mix fader. So that's your wet and dryness. So you can add however much you want. It's whatever you like. So I've got the snare. Smasher. There. So let's go. And then let's go. Let's hear it again. I've got the mix fader down all the way to 0 or 0%, and we're just gonna like move our way up just so we can see where the sweet spot is. 52%. $60. That's kind of cool. 62%. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat if you like it at 62. So we're gonna make a mental note of 62%, and we're gonna try to push it further. I kind of like 70 a lot too. But I noticed the hi-hats are a lot more crispier. Interesting. All right, so we got 62% and we got 70. I'm thinking let's try that. Let's try 71. All right, so we got that. So 71%. That's cool. That's cool on the wet and dryness, you know, and that may be subject to change after we do this other part. So we need to add the special sauce, and so that's what we're going to do. I have a specific thing I like to do for the drums. It is the secret sauce, and it's just simple, but it's effective, extremely effective, and highly underrated. This plugin right here, the Shep's Omni channel. If you're new to the channel, I use this a lot. You know, this is highly underrated. I don't think I see anyone use this at all, and it's kind of a crime. It's a high crime, you know, and I think this is highly underrated. It's probably one of the best plugins out there, and you can get it for pretty fucking cheap, actually. And if you waited on like a Black Friday or one of them holiday specials, you can get this for like next to nothing. And this right here is gonna transform your drums, and it's gonna just basically it's gonna give you all the impact and the thump and just the massive weight. Like, it's so transparent, and it's powerful. It's almost too powerful, to be honest. And if you you know, if you don't operate this thing with care, it'll be like a jackhammer to your mix, and it'll overpower everything. But that's just how good it is, and you can dial this in fairly easily. And I also have this, you know, virtual mix rack. You can use whatever channel strip plugin you want for all the tonal options. I just use this for just tonal options and whatnot. So I'm just going to put this down to 4KE. Just, you know, the London virtual tube here, just something that it does to like drums. It just makes it everything special. Just warmth, heaviness, weightiness. And this is the API style 500 series processor here. Look at this. It's just simple. I just, you know, boost it 140B. You know, I don't really have anything here. I got the 7K here and the 4dB, and you know, I mess around. And this right here is critical. You need a trimmer or something or like an auto gain knob, like a knob that just focuses on gain really. And so this will just back it off at like -3 because it's massive. So I'm gonna show you the reason why in a second. So let me just bring the snare and the hi-hats down because it's just that massive. If I were to play it now, it's like setting a gun off next to your ear. It's just like, nah. So we're gonna bring it down to like 18, you know, because it's massive. And then we'll just work our way up and see where it's at. All right. Instant difference though. So it's got like a little limiter here, which is cool. And when this light turns green, it's like hitting the limiter. All right, so I'm only using the pre, the EQ, and the compressor. Now, you got odd, even, heavy. These are your tonal options. The saturation knob is fantastic. And then you got the thump. So I backed off on the saturation all the way. I'm on odd, and I have the thump option off. And already, you can see the difference. So let me just bring up the saturation. You know, 65. Let's do that. Let's see what happens if we go 100. It's a lot. We don't need that much. Let's do heavy. 2 dB thump. So you got the filters here. It's like rolled off around what? 40. This one's at like 18,000 kilohertz. Boom. And then let's try the compressor here. So the FET is like normal to me. Like it's actually 9 out of 10 times you're gonna stick with the FET on this for, you know, drums. But the opto here, extra oomph, extra ass. If you really want some ass on it. I like to set my trim. So like I have the entire mix mixed to this track right here. So everything that's routed comes right here before it hits the master bus. And this is my own personal master bus. So technically what I'll do is I'll bring this down to about 9 dB, and what that'll do is it'll get me around -6. It gives me room to operate. I just want to see the green light just be, you know, I just want it to kiss the green light. See if I can move it up a little bit more. Okay. Let's try the VCA real quick. A lot going on with that. Let me know in the chat if you're vibing with the VCA, FET, or opto. Okay. So let's make the decision. Let's just keep it at opto for now. I got this, and I might have to add like another bass. I might have to add another bass that's more of a mid-rangey style bass, real crunchy. But I got this bass. It's like a ARP sequencer type from the MiniFreak. So we've got this routed to this bass bus right here, and we need to do some side chaining vibes. So let's get to it. So basically I'm just using a stock compressor, and we're gonna route it to the drums, hit the pre. And then we should add some type of, some type of crunchiness to it. So let's do, alright, so I have something called disgusting bass. So let's just make it disgusting. Alright. And I don't need the virtual mix rack for this. We're just gonna... I don't need that neither. So I'm just gonna take that off and then I'm gonna ungroup it. So let's see what happens. Alright, so basically this right here is the same amp from TSU Overloud, and I'll add this on all my basses. Something about it that just makes things happy. And so you can see right here, drive, low, high, center, clean, tweed, level. If you want to copy this, go ahead. If you've got the THU Overloud, add this to your bass. It'll make it poke out in the small speakers. So say if you have one of those wireless small speakers, or got them wireless head earbuds or whatever, or headphones, and you've got a mix that, it's your low end, or your bass just doesn't seem to be quite poking in. Just, you can't really feel it or hear it. This right here is going to make you hear it and feel it. And then this is just good measure right here, the Faturator. This thing will complement this. It's almost overkill, but if you just want to make sure to cross, you don't want to leave any room for doubt, this is going to make things a little bit, fun. Yeah, maximize the fuzz. So let's add some reverb to the drums, because I feel like they need a little love, and they need some extra happiness. But that right there is fantastic. The bass instantly changed. You can hear it, you can feel it, you can sense it, and now we need the drums to kind of come full circle here. So we're going to use VSTs Classics for this. It's just, I know that, other folks be using Valhalla, but this is my Valhalla, okay? This is my special. Powered by Liquid Sonics, okay? And so, let's see. Where's the room? Conga Lounge. Let's see what happens when we add it to the Conga Lounge. I like to use this a lot. So, it's just something that it does to drums. It just makes it happy. Alright, so we're going to mess with this. Is going on? Oh, I chose the wrong fucking send fader. It's this one. Hilarious. Just back off on that, and I have an idea. So what we're gonna do here is, because I've got this sub kick and I don't really want to add reverb to the sub kick, so we're just gonna That's fantastic. You know, I'm really liking how the drums are sounding. It's like, it's really bumping. And so, and the bass is there. But I might want to add another type of bass as well later on. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. So let's, so we got the kick, the snare, the hats, and the drums or whatever, the bass. So let's add the other parts. So we've got, I think we got keys number 2. So I got something for that. So I want this to feel like home. But before I do this, I gotta do one more thing. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna call this the sub mix bus. And I'm gonna route all the musical pieces to it. Sub mix bus, boom. This just saves me time. Pad, keys, strings, lead, flute, bell. I'm gonna route all these to this, and then I've routed this to the trim. So, but now we can focus on the keys number 2, because that's what we're starting off at. And I want to show you. So here, yeah, you can hear that whistle. That's the whistle. Piano, 7K, boost at 9. Keep that in the middle. 400. 2 minus 2. Boost 200 hertz. Got the high pass filter on, and this keys leveler is really nice. And then you got the piano lifter. So let's see what happens. Hear that kick, that sub kick, go. Bring down the snare just a little. There we go. gonna do the same thing for these other ones. Just copy that, put it on these keys, and then let me just bring this down. So that's what 9 minus 6. Let's bring this down and work our way up. So where are we at? So boom, and we'll start off with the chorus. This is the one that we're working with. I kind of like that, yeah. Okay, that's cool. So let me just go back from the verse. Kind of cool. I like that. All right, I have ideas now. The juices are flowing, but I got ideas now. So these are the keys. So let's move these up here. Boom, 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 boom. Keys number 3, and then so that's number minus 12. So let's bring this down a little bit, and we're just gonna bring it up. Yeah! Hell yeah! That's really cool. That's a vibe. That's a vibe right there. And we'll see what happens with the transition. Okay, so I have ideas now. So here for the hook right here. So this is like the whole math behind arrangement and stuff is you play around with it as much as you can, and while you're mixing, ideas will emerge. And so I'm thinking I'm not gonna have the strings softly, the flute play until maybe the second chorus, because when I play this by itself, there's so much epicness, and I'm just like, do I add it at a bridge, or do I make it a bridge, or do I make it just how about we kind of just do this like this metamorphosis of a chorus and just kind of have the chorus change up when you hit on the second one over here, so like it just everything comes full circle at you. So let's just hear it right quick, and then we'll see what happens when we mess with the second chorus and see how we can add these other elements here and make it, make it so. But also keep in mind though, when making a beat or production, you can overproduce something. You can overproduce. You can add more than the sounds you need. So that's also there's difficult decisions to be made. Do you keep the sound or do you take it away for the betterment of the track? So decisions will be made by the end of this. So let's start with the verse, and then we'll hear what this chorus now sounds like without these right here. All right, it's gonna be just these in the yellow. So we'll go for the verse to the hook, and then we'll work on the second hook and see if we can bring these other elements in. Work with me, y'all. Work with me. Hit that like button, and if you're feeling the vibes, man, you're feeling what we're doing in here, I really love the MiniFreak. The sounds that come out of this is insane. All MiniFreak sounds. Nearly. Except for maybe the soft lead and the flute. Yeah. Oh man, it's vibe-alicious. Here we go. And chorus. Okay, let me hear that one more time, the hook, and then we'll go into hook 2, but I want to make sure. My bad. That's sick. Okay, so now we gotta get these other elements in here, and so let's see what happens. So we're gonna go here to the second verse. We're gonna play here, and we're gonna try the strings. So these are the strings. So let's try this. Let's take that out and see what happens here. Let's see what we're just messing around because we want this to have a change up, we want to change this up a bit. So let's mess around. Take that out. So what if we take these strings? We may not even need it, and this is very good reasoning for this, because either we keep it or we don't keep it. But I want to add these elements, but we may end up just not having them at all, because I think the revelation is we've got our sounds, and sometimes you have to make the executive decision and say, you know what, we got to take that out. And I think these strings are clashing on a sonic level with the other sounds, and sometimes you just be like, well, I like keys number 3. I like this a lot, and something about this. I'll play it right here. That shit sounds so cool, and if we hear these strings, I don't think we need them. It's just it doesn't have as much character, and it doesn't sound as exciting as keys number 3. And keys number 3 match with number 2 and number 1 and the pad and everything else. They just sound good together. They sound like a happy family. It seems like there's a mistress in here that needs to get the fuck up out of here. So, pardon my language, but I do curse a lot on this fucking channel. So, my bad, y'all. Just I wasn't raised to not curse. Fuck. But I like this. I do like this though. Do we get to keep it? We're gonna find out. So we're taking the strings out, and we're gonna hear what happens when we add them to. Let's try it with the keys, and then we'll see what happens without it. Let's try it without at the beginning. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So let's try with the flutes. Sometimes you gotta go through this trial. The trial, the death match. doesn't go well with it at all. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these instruments away, and we're only gonna keep the chorus like it is. Sometimes you just gotta say goodbye, son. Goodbye. Out on the street. I really like this though. Okay, so let me just bring these flute down a little bit. Let's hear this flute real quick. One more time. I don't want it to go away. I kind of like this flute. Okay, so we got this bell. Let's get this bell in order. And then see what we do go from there. Bell. We need to get this bell sounding fresh. Fresh and so clean. Let's add a little brightness. Where are you at, FGA? About 20 kilohertz. There's a little bit of air. Sick. Okay, so let's hear from the top. And we need to do something to the submix. So we have everything routed. And before we hear from the top, let me just grab. Alright, we're going to do a little bit of side chaining right here. All right, so drum bus here, pre from the top, y'all. We got this release right here. I got it set at 55. Here. Every time the drums come in, the music, you know, right here. I'll show you. I'll give you a demonstration. So I got it at 55 on the release, but this is important. So you see the gain reduction here. It's kind of pushing the volume down on the music. Got a little bit of a glue. Oh, that's what's happening. Second. Okay, cool. And then I got it here. So now, up. Boost up the whole mix. I want -6. Up to maybe about 8. I want to see it about -6, and I haven't gotten it yet, so I'm just seeing if I could just bring up the entire mix in entirety, because I really like the balance so far. might have to adjust it just a little bit because I'm gonna add some, a little bit of some tape. So on the drum bus, I'm gonna add this tape machine here, and here we go. Boom. We're just gonna boost that about around 3 to 4 to right here, 16 track, FG456, IPS on 30, bias at the normal, and this is generally anywhere between, like, I don't know, 1 to 3, maybe 4 dB on the boost here for the tape. And then I put it right before the Sheps because it's got a little limiter here. And something happens when I put it here that just makes it sound cool. And add it here. And then we're going to add the tape machine here because this is going to affect the entirety of the musical instruments. And then why don't we do something with the keys? Let's add murder melodies to the keys bus. And so now all the keys is going to be affected, and I like this lo-fi dark and low. It's really cool with what it does. It's like it pushes the pianos forward or the keys forward, and it does something. It's got this cool little wobble here. So let's see what it sounds like all together. It rolled out some of that hiss. You can hear it. Bypass. Look at that. Murder melodies, dog. Clean that up real quick. Session over here. So we're going to take the keys 2, and the keys 3, and we're going to group them, and we're going to route it over here. Boom. And then we're going to take these, and we're going to route them to the group. And then, where are you at? I'm going to do the same thing that we did with the kick, and we're going to put it over here with the, and then we're just going to, I'm going to take that away. And let's mess around with this some. Let's go to the chorus because that's where all the magic could be happening. And then that sounds kind of cool. And then where are you at, keys? Let's just hear. Where are you at? Where you at, dog? Keys. I don't have anything on the imager. All right, so let's go to the keys real quick. Imager. That's cool. But we need to do some EQH. So why don't we roll off some of the lows on the piano? Oh wait, the piano's already got rolled off though. I guess I don't need to. I don't know what I was thinking because I have the virtual mix rack, not virtual mix rack. What is it? Murder Melodies. Let me see. Let's see how much low did I got. About 113. That's fine. Already it's poking. That's cool. Yeah, so like when my mindset is like when you have certain instruments, you want them to fit sonically in your mix, and sometimes you gotta take out some of the lows so like the bass and the kick can live together harmoniously, and you have instruments live in certain parts of the spectrum on a sonic level. And you gotta think of it like an orchestra where all the lows live in the lows, that are low dominant. They live in the low dominant area, but even then, you want to make sure that those low dominant instruments uh, have their own lane. And same thing with other instruments. Other instruments live in the mid range, mid highs. Others live in the mid high, mids, or just highs. And you just have to find the balance. And my advice is, what are you hearing too much of, and what are you not hearing enough of? And that should be just like your mantra, because if you're hearing too much of something, that's when you take away. If you're hearing not enough of something, that is when you boost. And so you just have to hear like, oh, I hear that there's too much of like, oh, the piano in my mind. I'm like, oh, I think there's a frequency in there that's a bit too piercing. I think it's making my ears feel like there's a dagger in it. So I gotta go take an EQ, and I gotta go find that frequency, and I have to single out that frequency and just take about 3 to 6 decibels from it. Or there's too much low end mud, and I just gotta roll off some, and I gotta dip. And so you have to think about these things, and don't just cut just for the sake of cutting, and don't boost for the sake of boosting. So like, don't let the visual aspects of plugins and VSTs and all the mechanisms, the knobs distract you. Just close your eyes, listen, and mix in mono or something. I'll mix in mono, like, but I don't think a lot of people got the VSX, and so I'll use this a lot when I do mix downs. But I don't think y'all got this. Not enough of y'all who tune in, so I think this would sound kind of crazy for those who don't got the VSX headphones and stuff. So I don't normally mix with these or do like like sessions on live stream with them, because some folks don't got the headphones like that and don't got the program to hear it. So I kind of just keep that off. But normally when I do mix downs and stuff, I'll use the VSX every time. And if I were, uh, if you don't got like a treated room that's not super treated, and I would use this. This right here is your saving grace. And before you do anything, I would mix a whole session just through this boombox. This is imperative, and I would do a whole session with this, and I'll just crank that to about plus 12, crank the depth. This knob right here is just basically like how much of the room you want, how much of this you want, and then you can gain stage or level match with this. And then but yeah, this is gonna, if you can get a great mix sounding from the boombox, this boombox, once you bounce it down and play the mix through regular speakers and stuff, it's gonna sound immaculate. Or when you bypass it or whatever, or you hit the bypass knob here, it's gonna sound really good. Because if you can get it sounding really good here, and then this is, I'm just telling you, free game. I promise you. This right here, you need this. Mix a whole session with that, and then right here, electric car, boom. This one. If you can get your mix sounding good in this, everything else will translate. I promise. If you get the VSX, I mean, it's cool to have all these rooms, right? But you really need boombox, electric car, and then I would recommend Club Indie. I really like the way this club sounds. If you want to kind of hear what your shit sounds like in a club environment, and this actually really translates well. It's not no bullshit, ploy here. This is real. This is legit. Like, you get all these rooms, you get to hear your mix through these rooms, and I recommend it 100%. If you're mixing and you don't know what you're doing, I'll tell you this right here: boombox, electric car, Club Indie, and maybe the NRG Studio, only because they got the NS10s here, the near field monitor here. Boom, boom. This is amazing, and yeah, I use this every time. But since I don't know if you guys got the VSX, I don't really like display it or use them or do nothing with them on live sessions, or live stream sessions or whatnot. But I'll do an episode. I'll do like a whole breakdown what this is in a future episode, where it's just gonna be only for VSX headphone users that want to mix and through the VSX headphones, and I'll do a whole video on it. So make sure to subscribe for that, because that's gonna be a great episode. I promise, because I'm gonna teach some secret techniques on how to make this thing work the best for you. And but yeah, so I think we've got this track set up now. Let's just listen from the top, and I need to add something to the master channel here, the actual master channel. So let me move this over here, take this off, and what I'll do on the master bus before mastering is I'll add this. Brit 4KE. Boost. Give it some drive. You want that console sound. And that's really what I'll put on the master bus. Is this. Other than the VSX right here. But this is all I'll really use on the master bus. So pretty cool. And then I'll bypass it. Instant difference. You can really hear the console. You can hear the volume jump a little bit more. Like minus 5.8, 4, whatever. But you want that general ballpark and whatnot. But listen, I have all my tracks here on the right hand side. I got some that's grouped. I got some that don't. I've got them routed over here to these buses, and I've got these buses all routed to this trim, pre-master bus. And so this right here is what's gonna allow me to guarantee that I get a -6 headroom right here. And it's because sometimes it would be really hard to get the -6 like on the dot, but if you got it somewhere within the realm, this is your best bet. This whole setup, this whole session right here, the busing is important. Grouping is important. So I'm using Ableton Live 9. I don't know what DAWs you're using, but I like Ableton Live 9 because it allows me to group. So I can group entire tracks into a single channel. This saves me CPU. This allows me to do group compression. This allows me to do bus compression. It allows me to glue things and keep things tightly packed, or I wouldn't say too tightly packed, but it keeps me like within that that neatness, that perfectly wrapped gift that you want to give to your listener. And so everything here, grouped or not grouped. Some need to be grouped, others don't. And then you route them to these buses. I'm all about control. I need to control the mix. I need to feel like I have everything where it needs to be. So this session preset that I put together, it's fantastic. So if you've got Live 9, just, try this out. Or you've got Live 12, Ableton, whatnot. You can just, click this, right click, group tracks to a single channel. Boom, single channel. I want you guys to be successful. I want you guys to feel like you know what you're doing. I wish I knew this shit when I was younger, and I just know how difficult it was when I was starting out. I was asking questions and nobody wanted to tell me nothing. And I knew a lot of different producers, a lot of different engineers, and they didn't want to tell me shit. They wanted me to fucking figure it out on my own, or like not even that. I don't even think they even said, "Oh, you got to figure it out on your own." No, it's more like, fuck you. I'm not telling you shit. I don't want you to know nothing. You're competition. And I'm just like, bro, like I just wanted to know what, like how to best effectively use a compressor, and what do I need to know about EQing, and what's like how can I make sure that my session doesn't sound like it's pumping? Like how do I get rid of the pumping sound, and how do I get it all to just fit, and just can you just give me a tip? Can you point me in the right direction? I'm in a ship with no sail, no rudder, and these fucks out here back in the days, they just did not give a shit. So I had to learn this shit on my own, and they didn't have tutorials. They didn't have like stuff on YouTube where you could just click and just be like, oh, thank God somebody knows what they're doing. They didn't have that. No. I think everyone today is very blessed right now to have YouTube to where it's at as far as the plethora of videos and tutorials that they have on across multiple DAWs, equipment, gear. I think people, really just thank their lucky stars. They got access to so much information now, and now you couple it with AI. You can just like ask AI, how do you use a compressor, and they can just tell you, and so it's just, when I was starting out, we didn't have none of that. None of that. I was shunned. I was like, how dare you speak to me? You do not get to know the knowledge. Fucking bitch. Like, damn. I was cruel. I remember I was staying in an apartment and with this dude, and he was a producer and an engineer, and he was really good. And he had his studio on one side of the room, I had mine on the other, and he was doing really dope shit. And I was like, hey man, tell me, like, what are you doing? And he was just like, man, he was just laughing it off, like, I ain't telling you nothing. I was like, damn, cold shoulder. Damn, not gonna tell me nothing? Not gonna give me a hint? Don't want to teach you nothing? It was bullshit, man. So I just want you guys to just walk away with the tools. And I just want you to be able to, like, have a chance at just mixing, producing, and whatever information I can provide that is even helpful. I hope it helps you out. If it doesn't, my bad. It is what it is. But if it does help you, great. But this is the stuff that I be doing. And if you take away something small from this, that's great. I did my job. So anyway, I think this track turned out dope as hell. Let's hear this track all the way through, and then we'll just call it a day. Thank you for tuning into First We Beats. I appreciate every one of y'all who showed up in the session and just hung out with me, vibed out with me. I drop episodes every Wednesday and every Saturday, and I know today's Sunday or whatever. So next week it'll be on Wednesday and Saturday. So make sure to subscribe. Or not, it's all good. Okay. Well, it turned out dope. Stay tuned for the next episode. I want to do a mastering episode. I want to take one of the beats that we've done from earlier episodes. It might just be this one or another one, and we're gonna do some mastering. So I'm either gonna do it on Wednesday or I'm gonna do it on Saturday next week. So make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you feel in this episode, hit the like. If not, it's all good. Tune in next time, and we'll stay cooking. And I'm going to be using this MiniFreak synthesizer a lot. It's going to be one of my new staples in the studio, so I'm just going to be using it all the time, along with my Keylab 88. And we're just going to keep it moving. And I'm going to make more episodes on the Arturias MiniFreak as we go. And so stay tuned for the mastering episode, and I'll see y'all next time. I appreciate y'all for real. I also got a single out right now. It's a hip-hop record, boom bap. Straight golden era style hip hop. So if you're interested in that, it's titled "Smoke in the Mirror." It's off my new album that's coming out later on this year, and I hope y'all check it out. It's on my Bandcamp. It's if you go to the link in the description, you'll be able to find it right then and there. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I'm your host, the Rinnegan, aka Rinnegan. Till next time, y'all.